Airman Cave Archives! Knowing and doing are two different things.
Hey, welcome back to Airman Cave Archives. Alright, so tonight I thought we'd take a look at a knife and a sign. So, my grandpa Cotton, he always had a story and would take a walk with you wherever you needed to go. But whenever I was younger, me and him would always do whittling projects or woodwork. And one particular time, he had bestowed upon me the gift of a pony knife. And it happened to be one time that I was whittling, doing my thing, and there was a turn in the wood that I was working with, and I needed to be able to get in that crevice. And instead of, I don't know, turning the piece of wood around and then going back at it, whittling, away from me, I was in the thralls of it and said, well, I'm going to come back this way. And so as I'm doing it, it jumps the little nick on the piece of wood, and I take off almost the top of my thumb because I'd pulled it back towards me. And so I'm sitting there bleeding. I go over to my grandpa and show him, Cotton, Grandpa Cotton, look. And he's looking at it and he's like, what'd you do? I said, well, I was whittling and then I turned it back of me, and he just kind of sat there and looked at me. I was like, Grandpa, I'm bleeding. I need a Band-Aid. He goes, we'll get one. So you did what? I was like, well, I was whittling. He's like, no, get to the part. I was like, and then I pulled it. And he's like, so you were whittling and you pulled the knife toward you. Are you going to do that again? I was like, well, no. He's like, okay. Lesson learned. You don't whittle toward you. You whittle away, whittle away. So it was just kind of funny that, here I am bleeding all over my hand and stuff. And he hears the story and he finally realizes that I was an idiot. But lesson learned, I always whittle away. Now, staying in vein with Grandpa Cotton, he used to have this sign, I guess, up in his Tech Control Facility, or TCF, Tech Control Facility. And it's funny because I went on to work in a TCF, or Tech Control Facility, as a communications guy. But it says, don't be afraid to ask dumb questions. They're easier to handle than dumb mistakes. Yeah, it was funny because I had an airman one time that may or may not have known that it was me, but I would review trouble tickets to be able to see what people were doing at the job. And this person, they had said something that was off. It was a little, not the way that I think that it should have been done. So I gave, a little bit of input or a little bit of advice. And the person came back with this just nasty retort. And it was funny because in Tech Control, you put your chops or your initials. And so I would never use my initials. I would always put KG for Captain Groovy. And I know the K's should have been a C, whatever. But I would always put KG. And so this person said, oh, hey, KG, I think you need to get a couple more stripes on your sleeves before you can tell me what to do. I've been a technician for this long, blah, and just like lambast me. My airmen come up and they're like, hey, Sergeant Nelson, did you see what so-and-so wrote? I was like, no. And so I go in and I review the log and I see it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's funny. They said, you want us to go tell them to come talk to you? I said, yeah, just, tell them to come talk to me. And it wasn't so that I could yell at the person. It was just so that I could inform them, hey, KG's me. I was just trying to give you some insight. And two, it's a learning opportunity. Just because somebody gives you insight or tries to give you a different view on the angle, don't get pissed off at them because you made a mistake. give them that opportunity so that it's a learning experience and you don't make the same mistake next time. So he comes in and I told him about it. And he said, yeah, I should have been a little bit not as harsh on the person. And I said, well, do you know who KG is? He thought that it was one of the other airmen based off of the initials because of the G. And so, yeah, I opened his eyes to it, and he's like, oh no, I'm sorry. I'm like, no, hey, it is what it is. Just remember next time, don't get mad at somebody because they're giving you input. They're just trying to help you out so you don't make future mistakes. But I hope you enjoyed the story about the knife and the memo. But thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.
Airman Cave Archives! Knowing and doing are two different things.